Namaste, my heroes, and welcome to Soul Horoscope SUPERscope Weekly Report. My name is Christopher Wotecki. I'm your sensei to serious joy, and I'm so glad to be back in front of you this week. Hope you're doing well, feeling well. Things are changing if you don't know it, and it is coming up around the corner. Now, this is a SUPERscope. It's designed to hit 3 personalities all at once. That is, if you are an Aries, if you are an Aries rising, or if you have Venus in Aries. I'll have a VQ for you later on. And these are all what I call Step 9. Step 9 is where you put it into action, baby, and that's what it's about. Now, this month, you are putting into action a new soul capital. In fact, we begin with Love Fest Day, and that Love Fest is for you to kind of regain faith in yourself. Faith to do what? To raise your prices. Exactly. That's what you're going to work on. What I call our soul capital consciousness. Now, the first step this week is a solar eclipse that basically sets a new foundation of values. That foundation of values is a foundation of your overall esteem. And when we go out in an interview, when we say we're worth this salary, when we go out in the world and say, you can count on me, there's a resonance in our heart that comes from this sense of self-esteem, what I call your soul's capital. When your soul knows it has capital, it can, by law of attraction, draw in its reflection of what it's worth in the world. Now, the universe is, in fact, moving slow. We are under a grand cross, and this is still in effect, although it is beginning to move. Mars, your home planet, is retrograde. It is now at 11 degrees-ish this particular week. That means that you are reconsidering there with Mars on the right screen your relationships as you rebuild your ability to assert yourself with literal ego. So the Aries and the Aries risings are probably under the most profound ego change right now, and that will still be in effect, just as an FYI, until May 21st or 22nd-ish. The North-South pole, just as a reminder, is Pluto, your career at the top, and Jupiter, your emotional foundation at the bottom. This is where the Grand Cross has broken up, and that means that you're starting to grow and emotionally feel more secure, whether career, ego, or marriage work out or not. And that's exactly what the universe is trying to get you to let go of, is your emotional security being tied to career, ego, or from marriage. You must feel good regardless, says the universe. And now, with that in play, we have this week the introduction of a solar eclipse in Taurus. Now, fortunately for you, a solar eclipse in Taurus means that you're going to get a blast of energy in self-esteem. But this is at 8 degrees, a step 8, and that means that, in essence, it's setting up a decision to what you are not and therefore what you can be. And so in this solar eclipse, you are doing just that. It's time to decide what you are not anymore, what your heart does not resonate with, what is not valuable in your life, and what is not valuable about yourself. If you have a behavior or a particular way of doing things that you do not value, then by all means it is time to decide and cut it away. The solar eclipse will bring this great, wonderful energy in order to focus on the Taurus itself. So the way this works, if you don't know, is that this is light cast day, the most powerful day, the new moon, when the sun and moon come together. But in this case, they come together so well that there is an alignment at the 8th degree. This allows you to decide what you're no longer not worth. Step 8 is a decision of what we're not worth. In your particular case, what you're not worth. And that sets in motion the ability to build on that basic platform from this point on. The next time the universe is going to give a solar eclipse in the house of money for Aries and Aries risings is 2022. The time after that will be 2032. Therefore, this is your operating not budget until 2022. Consider it that way, in my opinion. Now, on top of that, we have a soul pyramid in water going on, and this is uniting emotions underneath the seams. In your case, what is flowing is your faith in yourself, represented by Chiron in upper left screen, your new emotional boundaries, which you have to protect and defend because Saturn's retrograde upper right screen. But what is flowing forward is emotional security. So by healing your faith in yourself, by maintaining your emotional boundaries with yourself and therefore the world, your emotional security moves forward. And this emotional security moving forward is very important and really the only thing that's technically moving forward in the Grand Cross right now, your emotional security. So if you are feeling more emotionally secure every day, you are doing the best thing you can do on the planet right now, especially in this Mars retrograde. All right. So looking at this week, we have the solar eclipse on Monday night, actually Tuesday morning. Again, that same early morning, early Tuesday scenario we had just a couple weeks ago. It is off the step of step 8, decisions, making decisions to probably step away from bad financial, maybe bad literal. There might be businesses you're stepping away from. There may be contracts. You might be stepping towards something, but I would say be more clear on what you're stepping away from and the era in which you're stepping away from. I'm stepping away from this era, then you should be as far as what you're stepping to. Trust will know plenty of what it's going to grow into. And ultimately, this whole week, after you step away from whatnot, you begin to love, trust, and heal on Thursday. Actually, I should go back here to Thursday, sorry. On Thursday, you're love, trusting, and healing that this is all going to work out. And your mind will be hyperactive in those days, just so you know. Then on the weekend, ultimately, it's a nesting and resting. But I think you will have a breakthrough in understanding what the new value system will look like, or where the new paycheck will come from if it's that bad. So this week is about rebuilding your soul capital. In other words, rebuilding it by cutting away the poor investments from past lives. This is also cutting away low self-esteem issues. If something makes you feel bad about yourself, get rid of it. And at the end of the week, perhaps little new sprouts starting to come up now of the new potential soul capital, which we're going to nurture through the rest of the week. Now, for those of you who love like an Aries, who I call the 9VQs, 9VQs means your Venus is an Aries. And by the way, there are now videos on the Soul Garden TV YouTube page where you can look up your VQ and learn about yourself. And if you know where your Venus placement is, you can look it up that way too. Venus in Aries. So for the Venus in Aries people, you are stepping this week into a new trust and a new potential for intimacy. If you're in a relationship right now, it will have a potential to step into intimacy this week. If you're not in a relationship, you'll be stepping up into an intimacy with yourself that will set you up for profound intimacy in life. All right. So it's all about trusting and expanding out. We had Love Fest Day literally on this spot. And so last week, hopefully you reached a new ability to heal, an ability to spread out with your trusting yourself and therefore others, and you're stepping into that potential intimacy. For those, again, in relationships who have Venus and Aries, I think you're going to find that the relationship now begins to move into such a closeness that you begin to change as a result of being together. Kind of romantic and also kind of scary at the same time. Either way, it's all about trusting and being aware of your emotional limits in that process. But this will, because of the Pisces energy, help change you through the grand trine, that subconscious emotion we talked about in the SUPERscope. So one thing I want to point out is if you don't know, you should watch your Megascope. This solar eclipse is well covered in your monthly April Megascope. And if you don't have one, you can still get one at soulmart.me. They're available for immediate download. And right now, we have a special. If you buy 2, you get the 3rd free. And if you don't know, I do minute-to-minute coaching. It's called GA Venus. It's at gavenus.com, and I will coach you live in the moment over your cell phone, leading you to video segments I've set up according to your chart. It's kind of an innovative, cool thing. The first week is free. If you're watching us on YouTube, we ask please subscribe to our network. We appreciate that, to our channel. On Facebook, if you just navigate to soulgarden.me, you can like our Facebook page. And if you come to soulmart.me, you can join our mailing list. I email out the zodiac weather and the horoscopes every week to our constituents. I don't know how to tell you, our viewers, our loved gardeners. Well, I hope you have a fabulous solar eclipse. This eclipse is going to set you up for some tremendous growth. And with Jupiter moving to Leo this summer, it's going to be what your heart really desires. So this is well worth the spiritual work right now. All right, my Ram or Aries rising. All right, that's all I have for this week. I will see you in 7 days and more. Until then, my friend, live, love, be.